Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first session of our Weeks of Welcome. We are thrilled to welcome you to our online learning Welcome Back event. My name is Rebecca McAlpine, the Director of Engagement here at Compass. I am thrilled to be your host. Throughout this week, I'll be starting off all of our sessions and introducing all of our speakers. And today I have the privilege and the honor to introduce to you Mrs. Janae Smith, the director of our online learning program, who's going to go ahead and take it away for us today. Thank you so much, Janae.
Thank you, Ms. McAlpine, and welcome everyone. Good morning, and we are going to just dive into all things online learning in our online learning Welcome Back event this morning. Thank you for joining us, and as we move through our virtual exploration of Compass online learning, so we can ensure that all of you and your scholars have a strong start to our school year. Before we dive in, I wanted to just review our mission and our vision here at Compass. And our mission and our vision truly do guide everything that we do here. And our mission is to inspire and develop innovative, creative, and self-directed learners, one scholar at a time. And our vision is to create a collaborative virtual community, inspiring scholars to appreciate the ways in which the arts and sciences nurture a curiosity for lifelong learning and prepare our scholars to take responsibility for their future successes. Along with our mission and vision here at Compass, we also follow our Arctic values. And our Arctic values are achievement, respect, teamwork, integrity, and communication. And they are central to all that we think, say, and do here at Compass. During today's presentation, we are going to review all things online learning and the online learning program expectations. Then we have some great information from all of our different departments that support all of our scholars here at Compass. We'll take a look at our academic support team, our assessments team. We'll dive a little bit into our AVID program. See information from our counseling and engagement departments, along with our IT department, our scholar community advocate, and our special education. And at the end, we'll take a look at what's next in our weeks of welcome and a couple other things, and then have some time for Q&A. So meet our online leadership team. We are so thrilled to have Ms. Jennifer Tatum. She is our K-8 online coordinator, and Ms. Michelle Woods, who is our online high school coordinator. And together, the three of us have the privilege to work alongside our entire online learning team. And you'll see them on our next slide. So we have a great online learning staff of teachers who have years of experience and who absolutely love personalized learning for our scholars. So let's go ahead and jump into our online learning program. So what we're going to review today is an overview of what our online program is all about. Compass provides all of our scholars with a highly qualified teacher who provides a lot of that direct instruction and support for each of our online scholars. Now, you as a learning coach, you help to support that learning at home. So it's teacher-led teacher instruction, but we really need those learning coaches to come in and help with that support, since they are on the ground right next to the scholars, helping them to succeed. So let's dive into the different policies, documents, roles, and expectations. So like I mentioned, in our online learning program, what we do use is asynchronous online learning curriculum, and the online learning curriculum we use is Accelerate Education. And Accelerate Education, one of the reasons why we continue to use Accelerate Education here at Compass is, besides being award-winning, WASC accredited, A through G Quality Matters accredited, and meeting all those ESSA requirements, it also allows and provides for the teachers to truly personalize learning and customize that learning for each of our online scholars. So the online teachers will be able to provide additional support assignments, additional learning opportunities, and things like that through Accelerate Education, and through the use of our supplemental curriculum and materials. So along with Accelerate Education, we use a supplemental curriculum called iExcel. So our scholars in our K-5 program use iExcel for all 4 of their subject areas. And then scholars in grade 6 through 8 use iExcel Math, and our 9th grade scholars will be utilizing iExcel for 9th grade support in those algebra and pre-algebra classes. Along with that, we have our supplemental material kits that have, each kit includes a set of welcome back school supplies, and then grade level specific materials for scholars. And then of course we have our learning labs that happen daily for all of our scholars, and then one-on-one and small group instructional support and Q&A sessions. Like I mentioned, our online learning program, we use Accelerate Education, and one of the great things about Accelerate Education is all of our scholars in grades K through 12 use Accelerate Education. And like I mentioned before, they are award winning and do meet those A through G College Board requirements through for our high school scholars, and they are WASC accredited and are approved by Quality Matters. And then another thing that Accelerate Education provides for our K through 5 scholars are content specific workbooks. So our K through 5 scholars will receive specific workbooks to practice, their paper pencil skills and things like that for English language arts and math. Okay, and as I mentioned before, one of the things that we had started in our online learning program a couple of years ago in our elementary online learning is our supplemental materials and supplemental curriculum. Now, what we've been able to do now, starting this coming school year, the 24-25 school year, is we're able to actually provide the supplemental materials and curriculum for all of our online scholars in grades K through 12. And one of the great things about this is the teachers have gone through, they look at their curriculum, they work together and collaborate on those learning labs, and they have put together supplemental material lists and packages that will further personalize learning for scholars, help with that engagement piece during learning labs, and also help our scholars be engaged in their asynchronous learning in Accelerate Ed. And so all of those supplemental material lists can be found on our online learning webpage. There's specific lists that are grade level specific for K through 8, and then course specific for online high school. So we're really excited to be able to provide that and offer that for all of our online scholars this year. And then your supervising teacher will work with you to make sure that you receive your materials, that if they're non-consumable, your teacher will let you know what needs to be sent back at the end of the year, really organized. The families don't have to order them. The teacher has already provided those kits, the list of kits, and Compass will go ahead and send those out directly to you. A lot of great things for this school year. And just to kind of dive into a little bit of our online learning program, cannot help but share some of these fun online learning, project-based learning, scholar choice projects that some of our scholars have been able to share with us over the last year. Okay, let's dive into everyone's role here in our online learning program. So the first person and your go-to person is going to be your supervising teacher. And what your supervising teacher does is your supervising teacher first off will make sure that you have what we call a pre-master agreement meeting. That's kind of your first connection meeting of the year. Review the master agreement, help with you, provide some links for onboarding, and make sure that your scholar is ready to start on the first day of school. Your supervising teacher also will schedule monthly connection meetings, and those are regular meetings that happen every month with scholars and learning coaches and your supervising teacher. And they're really crucial to ensure that your scholar is staying on track, is on pace, submitting work, and really help working towards achieving those goals that your scholar will set with your teacher, your supervising teacher at the beginning of the year. Everyone's goals can look very different. And so we want to come alongside the learning coach and the scholar and help the scholar achieve those goals. They also will host our live sessions. So K5, supervising teacher is your teacher of record and provides those daily learning labs. And then in 6 through 12, your homeroom classes once a week will be led by your supervising teacher. They can also provide you with content support and are really your go-to person, and they can help bridge any communication gaps or any support you need from your content teacher in grades 6 through 12. And of course, they maintain records and make sure that attendance is all up to date and completed and everything is good for compliance. And of course, they provide onboarding access. So your supervising teacher helps to ensure your scholar is properly onboarded and can access all the tools and resources needed to be successful. That also includes logins, navigating the learning platform, and how to use various tools that are in Accelerate Ed. So that's kind of a snapshot of all the things from your supervising teacher. Now, learning coaches, like I said, learning coaches are really our like eyes on the ground. We really appreciate and like to work collaboratively with our learning coaches. The most important thing that we want to make sure that the learning coaches do is complete that activity log daily in the Parent Scholar portal. There's a couple reasons why this is really key and the top of our list in learning coach responsibilities. First off, learning coaches, you have an observer's account, and you can see everything that your scholar does. You just can't submit assignments. So if you can go in at the end of the day and complete that activity log, then you can see what your scholar is working on. If your scholar is working on stuff offline, so for example, they're working on an edible cell project, or they're working on, going they went on a field trip and they're working on some photos, a photo collage of what they learned on their field trip. They're doing that all offline or all just not within the system. School Pathways and Accelerate Ed, the learning coach goes in and completes those activity logs. So we can see, yeah, my scholar may have not logged in today, but I saw my scholar was on a field trip and, or my scholar went on a field trip and this is what they're working on for writing and language arts. Or they made their edible cell. We did that together in the kitchen. And so they worked on science today. So that activity log is really crucial to ensuring that not only are we capturing attendance, but that the learning coaches can feel empowered to, see how scholars are progressing through their classes and to really verify, yeah, this is what my scholar did today. So along with the activity log, our learning coaches attend those monthly connection meetings. They communicate regularly with the supervising teacher. And we really encourage you check your email and phone messages, text messages daily. Let your supervising teacher know what's the best way and the fastest way to get a hold of you. I know a lot of our learning coaches, a text message or a quick reminder is really helpful. Let your supervising teacher know this is the best and easiest way to get a hold of me. And just like I said, make sure your scholar attends or submits that work and is attending school and engaged in school, and that they're attending their live synchronous sessions. We also want to make sure that if any of your information changes or email addresses change, that you let us know right away so we can have our records department update all of that information. And like I said, the biggest thing and the biggest role too of our learning coaches is just to collaborate with your supervising teacher and really make sure that your scholar is engaged in their learning daily. We know scholars who are engaged in their learning daily through logging into Accelerate Education, submitting work, attending field trips, going to virtual scholar workshops, attending their live sessions, going to tutoring if they need to. That when our scholars do all those things, they not only feel connected to Compass and the Compass community, but they also have a lot of academic success and meet their goals. Okay, next we're going to dive into our scholar expectations. So our scholars, the biggest thing is we just want them to be part of our Compass community. So we want them to attend those live sessions when they're invited, when they're, whether it's a course specific learning lab, homeroom sessions, their daily learning labs in our K-5 or especially K-3 program. If they're invited to our tutoring, that they attend those. So they're really part of this, what we call our Compass community, and really can feel connected here at Compass. So we want them attending their live sessions, making sure they're completing assignments every day, and that they're proactively communicating with their Compass teachers. We can also work alongside with our scholars to create that daily schedule and look at their pacing guide within Accelerate Ed and within their parent scholar portal. Some specific expectations. So in our K-5, we are looking at our scholars, spending quite a few hours a day working on their Accelerate Ed lessons. The great thing is that, the flexibility that our online learning program provides is scholars can take as many breaks as they need. They can also, work at different times of the day and really leverage some of that flexibility. A big thing too that we want to make sure is that our scholars are just engaging. And here's what when we look at our engagement piece for scholars, when we say we want them engaged, part of this community, that is ensuring that their activity log is completed. So learning coaches, scholars completing those activity logs. So we get that look, so we know that you did, if you worked offline or were on a field trip or something, that we capture that. So your teacher knows kind of what your day-to-day looks like. That you're logging into Accelerate Education daily, submitting assignments, and of course, attending those synchronous sessions. Now, new this year, if there are 2 or more days where we don't see those 4 components being completed, they can all be done every day. At least if we have one of those components for scholar engagement, then everything, we know the scholar is engaged in learning. But if there's 2 or more days a week that we don't see those things, we're going to be reaching out to families the following week and say, hey, what's going on? Notice that your scholar wasn't engaged 2 or more days last week. What can we do to make sure that we have that daily engagement? And then, of course, completing those assignments and submitting showcase assignments in the Parent Scholar portal at the end of each learning period. And we're going to take a closer look at that in a minute. Okay, so I mentioned a little bit about pacing guides and submitting assignments. So, at Compass, attendance is taken a little bit differently than a traditional school where teachers just mark scholars present, they see them there, they're present. Because we are a non-classroom based charter at Compass, attendance is monitored a little differently. So like I said, we monitor it through various things. The first thing we do is we look at the daily activity logs. So that's learning coaches completing those activity logs daily. Scholars are also able to complete these. And this is a crucial part of how we look at attendance to make sure that our scholars are engaged. That followed by those daily assignments actually submitted into Accelerate Education Monday through Friday. Those are what help us maintain consistent consistent records. They also help to create a really great routine for our scholars to help them stay on track with their coursework. In our Parent Scholar portal, you'll see that there is a whole list of assignments and the entire gradebook for the school year, for the semester, by class. Also in Accelerate Education, looking at the scholar to-do list and looking at the calendar helps our scholars know what should be done during that learning period. Also in the monthly connection meetings, you'll review those assignments and what was completed with your supervising teacher. So we want to make sure that our scholars are completing those assignments, and your supervising teacher will review this with you. Your supervising teacher will either send you what those assignments look like, or guide you to where is the best place for your scholar to and learning coaches to find those assignments. And like I said, if scholars are not engaged 2 or more days during the school week, we'll just be reaching out to families just to make sure that we have that consistent routine and helping scholars be successful. And I mentioned this, the assigned work. So at the beginning of every learning period, the supervising teacher will either send you your assigned work, or your supervising teacher will show you, here's where you can find all the work that needs to be completed this learning period, so we can verify that we have 100% attendance. So scholars will work with their supervising teacher to see how it's best to determine what work needs to be completed within the learning period. And when I mention learning periods are about a month long. So we have, the month of September is an entire learning period. Scholars can also find a list of assignments, like I mentioned, in the to-do list in Accelerate Education, and they can look at their calendar in Accelerate Education, and it tells them everything that they need to do for that month in each course. And then, like I mentioned, we'll want to make sure that these get completed, because that will ensure that your scholar is successful, working towards mastering those grade level standards and reaching those goals. And we need to make sure as well that your supervising teacher or your content teacher have the information they need in case your scholar needs additional support, or if we're finding that your scholar needs to be challenged a little bit more as well. Something new this year, though, from the assigned work, what we want to see is scholars take some true ownership of their learning and showcase that learning. So this year, scholars will be able to further showcase this learning during those connection periods, every learning period. So what that means is they're going to choose an assignment, one of their favorite assignments from each course that they've been working on during that month. And then they are going to upload those assignments to the Parent Scholar Portal. And then when you have your connection meeting with your teacher will be able to showcase or to bring up those assignments that scholars took, are most excited to share with their supervising teacher and learning coach. And then that gives the scholar an opportunity to really, share with their teacher all the great things that they learned during the learning period. And since this is new, though, the online team is going to provide multiple opportunities for scholars to learn this process. It's actually really easy and be able to complete it during the month of September. So during connection meetings, learning labs, and those homeroom sessions, the teachers will review that to make sure that scholars are empowered to be able to showcase their learning this year. And like years past, we do have our scholar engagement evaluation. Like I mentioned before, we are checking to make sure scholars are engaged daily. So if there are 2 or more days where we don't see engagement, we're just going to reach out, say, hey, your scholar didn't engage every day. What can we help with to support? So at the end of the learning period, we have all of your scholars engaged, and everyone's on the same page. However, if for some reason that scholars are still struggling with their engagement, we do have our scholar engagement evaluation process, and this mirrors California legislation AB 130, and which says that we need to make sure that scholars are engaged at least 10% that they're attending school at least 10% of the time over that learning period, and that they are participating. We like scholars to participate in all of their synchronous instruction, their learning labs, their homerooms, their tutoring, if they have an IEP, all their SAI sessions, all of that. However, if they're not attending at least 50% of that, we're going to have to send a notice, make sure we come and reach out just so everyone's on the same page, and we can figure out some solutions to make sure that this expectation is met. And of course, we need those daily learning logs submitted. And continuous absenteeism, we don't like to do this very often, but if scholars we have a what we call an independent study evaluation, where we pull the team together and we say, okay, we've tried all of these things. is this the best placement for your scholars? And if we still think, yes, this is the best placement for the scholar, well, then let's figure out what we can do and what tools we can provide to make sure that they are meeting those goals and making that progress. And then there's a few other things that will be evaluated as well. For instance, if scholars continue to be absent, if those terms of the master agreement aren't met, and then of course, if scholar fails to make satisfactory academic progress. So moving forward though, speaking of synchronous sessions, in our online learning, we have what we call our learning labs, and they are mostly skill or subject specific. So we have our LLs, our learning labs. They are on specific days and times. So our scholars in grades K through 3 have learning labs every day. And we say they're about maybe 30 minutes. We are very fortunate, like I mentioned earlier, our teachers in our online learning department are exceptional, and they can read a virtual room. So if our kindergartners are getting real squirrely, our great kindergarten teacher, Miss Poplar, she can kind of gauge, okay, I think maybe we need a wiggle activity, or you know what, maybe we just cut our learning lab down a little bit and build it back up to a longer time. But they have K3 has our synchronous sessions every day, and they could be skill or content specific lessons. And Miss Poplar and Miss Eagleton and Miss Love and Miss Diaz do such a great job. Oh my gosh, she's a K3 team. Miss Hooper and Miss Watt, they do such a great job in engaging those scholars. They love to come to learning labs. They love their cameras on, and they love to talk on the mic. Our scholars in grades 4 through 8, they'll have a weekly session where all the fourth and fifth graders get together. Sorry, I said 4th through 8th, 4th and 5th graders get together, and then their specific teachers work together. Miss Diaz, Miss Fullerton, Miss Grimes work together as a team to provide those specific content learning labs. Grade 6 through 8, we have our you'll have your supervising teacher provides homeroom instruction, and then your content teacher will provide a learning lab specific for that content class. So you'll, whether it's 6th grade English language arts or 8th grade science, your teacher will make sure that you have all the links and the days and times for those learning labs. And then the same for our scholars, our high school scholars. They'll have a weekly homeroom session, homeroom class on Wednesdays, and then those content specific learning labs throughout the week. And the homeroom sessions are great. That's where the scholars in grades 6 through 12 are going to learn all those added strategies. They're going to dive in and make some connections with their classmates, with their teacher, and really work on building up that collaboration and with their peers, and really becoming part of our Compass community. So along with our learning labs, we also hold Q&A sessions and small group learning sessions. So in grades 6 through 12, we have what is called a Q&A session, and it's like office hours, I guess. In our high school program, all of the A through G proctoring, and we'll dive into that in a minute, is completed through those Q&A sessions. And that's a time for scholars to come in and ask specific questions, receive individual help. Sometimes teachers will pull in a small group into those Q&A sessions for small group support sessions and small group tutoring, often to target specific skill gaps or areas of need or assignments that might need to be have a little bit more intervention on. And then, like I said, our STAR and A through G proctoring requirements for high school can be met in those Q&A sessions as well. And additional live tutoring, in addition to the one-on-one support and small group support, our MTSS, our multi-tiered system of support, provides additional live tutoring sessions for scholars who qualify. And I mentioned our high school A through G. One of the requirements for high school A through G courses is that those major assessments are proctored. And that includes the midterm and the final in those specific courses, unless there is, unless a scholar chooses to present or chooses to participate in a project-based assessment instead of a multiple choice exam. And those can be completed in those Q&A sessions, throughout the semester. And then the high school team is so great in that they do offer a finals schedule at the end of each semester to meet this expectation. Okay, now we are going just to do a quick overview of our other departments here at Compass. Compass provides our scholars with a highly qualified teacher for the direct instruction, but we also have, we take a holistic approach and know that our scholars need a lot of support to help them reach their goals. So the first team that we're going to take a quick look at is our academic support team. Ms. Erin Smith is our Director of Academic Support. And our academic support team, they provide our scholar success team process. So if scholars need some support, or if the teacher is seeing that they could use a little extra intervention, the supervising teacher or may recommend that we start the scholar success team process. The academic support team also has our 504 coordinator, Ms. Dodd Lothringer, as part of that department. And Ms. Lothringer is our scholar support coordinator. She oversees those 504s and a lot of our other supports that those scholars need and interventions. We also have Ms. Melissa Mayer, who is our scholar success coordinator, and she oversees our multi-tiered system of support framework. And that includes our those tutoring sessions that scholars are invited to provide additional intervention. And then we have Ms. Chrissy Sayas, who is our English, our multilingual scholar support coordinator, or English language for our English language learners. And and under Ms. Sayas, her team includes our EL tutors, Ms. Hernandez and Ms. Lopez, who provide additional direct instruction for our English language learners. So that is our academic support team. And so if you see an email, especially from Ms. Campisi, Ms. Darley, or Ms. Solons inviting scholars to tutoring, that is the team that will do that for you. And as we dive in to our academic support team, it kind of just shows you which each of their roles is. And they'll dive even more into what their department does in our other weeks of welcome and during our department open house on August 26th and August 27th. And next, let's meet our assessment team. So our assessment team comprises of our assessment and data coordinator, Ms. Beth Sneed, who oversees our assessment and data specialist, Ms. Carrie Bascu, and Mr. Luis Negrati, and our assessment TOSA, Ms. Erica Angelo. And Ms. Angelo hosts weekly CAS prep starting 6 to 8 weeks before the CAS window opens, and helps scholars feel prepared for those upcoming state assessments, and ensures that questions are answered, and making sure that our scholars find success and ease any anxiety during those testing weeks. And our academic assessments here at Compass, they include our diagnostic assessment, our SBAC, CASP, and there we go. And our scholars will, let me read, there we go. Our scholars participate in 2 types of these assessments, and based on their grade level. So each scholar, though, will participate in our STAR diagnostic assessment. Those are our internal benchmark assessments. Scholars complete these 3 times a year. They complete them at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and at the end of the year. And this is a great opportunity for scholars to show how much they increase their learning throughout the school year. We use STAR Renaissance assessments for our benchmark vendor, and the summative tool assess scholars in early literacy. That is for scholars in TK through 2, and then the reading will be administered to grades 6 through 12. Using STAR this fall includes our proctoring sessions. So the STAR benchmark assessments are proctored, like I said, in our online learning program. We use those Q&A sessions. The first couple weeks of the school year, those homeroom sessions are used for scholars to complete the STAR benchmark assessment and have that proctoring piece met. We also use Freckle to support the instruction that is available right after scholars take the STAR assessments. So they take the STAR assessments, then we have those Freckle instruction to really target those skill gaps as needed. And like I mentioned earlier, our scholars, take our SBAC state testing, and it's for grades 6 through 8 and 11th grade, and some 10th grade for our CAST testing for the science test. We will have more information on assessments in our weeks of welcome that are coming up today. Let me see. Whoops, my notes are not scrolling down. There we go. And that will be for our assessment open house during our weeks of welcome. And so if you have any questions about assessments, I strongly encourage you to go to that assessment weeks of welcome open house and ask away. And I mentioned this earlier, but at Compass, we have our AVID school-wide program. And what AVID stands for is Advancement via Individual Determination. Excuse me. And this year we have a complete middle school path for scholars to take the AVID elective course in grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. All of our supervising teachers have been trained and implement AVID's instructional strategies school-wide. And a lot of those include, those focused note taking. So scholars feel really prepared before they complete an assessment or an assignment. The different reading and writing strategies that we call, that are called Wicker. And they are helped to develop necessary habits of mind for scholars to be successful. And those academic supports that AVID provides includes study skills, organization, goal setting, time management, which is huge for a lot of our online scholars, and making connections to academic accountability and achievement. And so if you want to learn more about AVID, and if you're interested in having your scholar enroll in AVID, just ask your supervising teacher. It's a great opportunity for scholars to really, work together with their peers and really dive even further into their learning. Next, we'll meet our counseling team. Our school counselors are supported by our Director of Counseling Services, Ms. Steffen, and they work with scholars in grades 6 through 12 with a three-pronged developmental approach in academics, social emotional learning, and college and career readiness. So our counselors are vital members of the scholars educational team, and they play a major role in the scholars academic, social emotional, and college and career development. So our counselors support our scholars with academic planning, course scheduling, goal setting, time and organizational management, coping skills, overcoming obstacles, college and career activities, post-secondary planning, concurrent enrollments, and work permits, and so much more. The goal of the counselor is to advocate for each scholar and help them achieve the success. So our team of counselors provides a counseling curriculum on a weekly basis in counseling learning labs and in small groups. So if you want to learn more, and I encourage you to attend our weeks of welcome with our counseling department as well on the 23rd at 10 a.m. And so you can learn into more things, dive into more information about our great and awesome counseling department. Next, I'd like to share briefly about our engagement department, which is led by Miss Rebecca McAlpine and supported by Miss Danielle Del Negro and Miss Christina Vert. And our engagement department is second to none. The mission of the engagement department is to create activities that foster connectiveness and build community, building this campus community. Our engagement department provides tangible ways that bring to life that mission, the mission that they're designing, creating, planning, implementing, and managing all the events that foster the community and support scholar retention. And we want our scholars here. We want them to feel connected to our campus community and to each other. And so these engagement events help to provide that for our scholars. Also, we find that our scholars who maybe don't really necessarily or maybe struggle with the day-to-day learning and need something a little extra to help keep them motivated, our engagement department provides such great ways for our scholars to feel motivated and to further engage in their, not only in their learning, but in the school. Our engagement events and offerings include, but are not limited to, field trips, events, virtual scholar workshops, scholar recognition, scholar celebrations, such as in-person graduation and in-person 8th grade promotions, our back to school picnics, Learning Coach Academy, scholar clubs, and so much more. The engagement department believes in providing engaging and meaningful opportunities to all scholars and families at Compass. Our entire staff contributes to ensuring that our engagement department offerings come to life. So to learn more about information about these offerings, as well as the engagement department, please attend the engagement department open house at the end of this week. To stay up to date on all things engagement, and be sure to read the weekly engagement communication that comes from that awesome department. And of course, we could not be Compass without our amazing IT department. Our amazing IT department is led by Miss Christian Moeller, and she's our Director of Technology and Innovation. She also has Mr. Marco Montaliano as our help desk technician. And if any of you guys have ever submitted a help desk ticket, you know that Marco is one of the fastest and best to get those questions resolved. Most of the time, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, most of the time those he's responded back within, at least a day, which is really phenomenal. And he does such a great job. Along with Marco, we also have Mr. Miguel Aguilar, who is our systems administrator. He also works alongside Marco on those help desk tickets and helps to ensure that scholars have access to everything they need in order to be successful. So our IT department, they have provided some of the technical best practices that will be beneficial for all Compass families to ensure that our scholars don't have any technical issues getting in the way of their success. So the IT department recommends that scholars always install the updates as they're prompted with the security performance. Also, scholars should reboot weekly to help with audio problems and error messages. And lastly, do not attempt to open links or attachments unless you are sure of the sender or provide anyone with your login information. We will also, IT will also be sending some important links through the chat, our school pathways, the school pathways login, excuse me, the ClassLink logins, and the link to get Compass IT support. It is really critical that all of our scholars know how to log in. They know their Compass Gmail information. They know how to get into the Parent Scholar Portal and School Pathways. So if you have any questions with those, reach out to our IT department through our help desk tickets. Reach out to your supervising teacher. We don't want any barriers, especially technology, to prevent scholars from reaching those goals. And then our IT department open house is going to be Thursday at 10 a.m. And I want to take a minute to introduce Ms. Gonzalez, who is our Scholar Community Advocate. So Ms. Gonzalez is part of our operations department and acts as a liaison between the Compass staff, scholars, family, and the community agencies. So she maintains cross-program collaborations with community agencies and develops community partnerships to provide services for families and youth experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness, and linking them to those resources. The Scholar Community Advocate also works with foster youth and foster families, and she is the main contact for new and current military families, providing additional support and resources for our military families. So if you have any questions or you're finding you need additional support from our Scholar Community Advocate, her email is here, but you can also reach out to your supervising teacher. Okay, and now we have our special education department and our special education leadership team, which has Ms. Amy Foodie, who's our director of special education. We have Ms. Lauren Jeffries and Ms. Leslie Sharma, who are special education coordinators. And Compass has 15 specialized academic instructors, 2 instructional aides, and a program specialist, and 2 special education technicians to support scholars with special education services who are attending Compass. So at Compass, our scholars with IEPs are general education scholars first. So all scholars are assigned to a general education supervising teacher. And the our team of specialized academic instructors demonstrate the capacity to provide high quality special education services to the scholars that they serve. And Compass Charter School provides all eligible scholars with a free public education that meets their individual needs according to that individualized educational plan. As a learning coach, your role is to be an active participant by working with our educational specialists and related services providers to plan and monitor your child's unique program. The learning coach engagement is imperative to the program's success, and we at Compass Charter Schools welcome your participation in all of our special education services. And then for more detailed information on our special education department, please join us for our special education department open house, which is going to be Thursday at 1 o'clock. Okay, that was a large overview of all the things that we do here at Compass, the things, just a snapshot of how we want to come around and support each of our scholars. So what is next? So please be sure to attend your scholars weeks of welcome, WOW, orientation this week. Our online learning program orientation for scholars in grades K through 8 will be today at 1 o'clock. And that will be led by Miss Jennifer Tatum, our K-8 online coordinator. And then our online learning program orientation for high school for scholars grades 9 through 12 will be Tuesday, tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And that'll be led by Miss Michelle Woods, our online high school coordinator. You'll use the same link that you use, the same link as today to join this WOW orientation. During our WOW orientations, we'll be sharing our welcome packet that includes all the things that scholars need and all the paperwork and all the links that scholars and learning coaches need to be successful this year. So make sure that you look at this welcome packet before the first day of school, so you can reach out to your supervising teacher if you have any questions. And as mentioned previously, please join our WOW open houses for more details and information that are specific for each of the programs and departments that we have here at Compass Charter School between today and August 27th. So scholars are ready to start school on August 28th. And here is the schedule, a glimpse of the schedule for the next few days, I guess 8 days, I'll look here, of our welcome back events and orientations, as well as our special program open houses. So that's all listed here on this schedule. In week 2, our assessment, scholar success, and EL departments will be providing Compass families with some awesome information to ensure that scholars have a successful year. And before we conclude here, just want to do a great reminder of our Scholar Leadership Council. Our Scholar Leadership Council meets with our superintendent and CEO, Miss Elizabeth Brenner, and they really are a great, provide great representation of our scholars so we can get feedback to always ensure that we're providing for our scholars' needs, and we're always reflecting on what we can do better to be that gold standard. So if you're interested, please apply for the Scholar Leadership Council. And learning coaches, we strongly encourage you to participate in our Parent Advisory Council. The Parent Advisory Council also meets with our superintendent CEO, Ms. Elizabeth Brenner. This is a wonderful opportunity for one, to provide great feedback to Ms. Brenner about your experience at Compass, to ensure that we're always improving and always being the best. And also, it's a great way to meet other parents. Our Parent Advisory Council is a great place to start networking with other parents, along with, and I mentioned it earlier, our Learning Coach Academy. It's a great way to connect with other learning coaches, get advice, and make those connections, because we know that sometimes having your scholar go to non-classroom based school can be a little isolating for our parents as well. So join our Parent Advisory Council, and don't forget about that Learning Coach Academy. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. We have exciting updates, great press releases, some information on there on all of our social media platforms. So make sure that you're following us on all of those places. Don't forget to like us, reshare our post, and don't forget to brag about all the great accomplishments your scholar is achieving this school year. And with that, I like to thank you all for joining us today. And I wish you and your scholars an amazing 24 and 25 school year. It is going to be a fantastic year. If you look here, that is my direct information. That's my direct line. You can call or text me on that line. And of course, my email address is there as well.